Hey, good evening, everybody. My apologies. My laptop just refused to start up, but I managed to get it to start, and here I am. So, um, welcome to tonight's session. We will just be doing question and answer for part 3 of your POE for TLHE, and then whatever questions you also have for CARS, you can go ahead and post them in the chat box. Or if you want to raise your hand and unmute, that's fine also. Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead and get started asking your questions. Okay, just while people are getting their questions together, Surey, I just see your email now. I did send a response, but I'm not sure why my responses are being encrypted. This is the second time that I'm emailing a student and this has happened. I did reply, and I'll send you a screenshot of my response just now. But just while you're here, I can explain. We spoke about this last week in the QA session for CARS. I'm not sure if you accessed the recording, but some students have opted to design a module from scratch, and some have opted to redesign an existing module. So it's your choice.
Sorry, ma'am, can I just ask, um, what was I going to say now? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The way you want it in the table, or how I've been doing it so far, is that I give the short explanation and then I go straight into my example of what I mean. Is that what you are looking for?
Surey, which module is that for and which question?
I'm just kind of generally asking, because for some reason I have difficulty answering your questions. I've read your feedback and everything that you've said on previous assignments. So that the way that I'm doing it now is that if it's in the table, I'm giving kind of short explanation, impact of what is it, discuss question now. Where is my things here? Impact of integrated course design in terms of achieving curriculum achievement. And now I'm giving a short thing of it must ensure that all the components are working together. And then I give some explanation of how I'm doing this in this module, for example.
Okay, hold on. Let me open the assignment on my side so I know exactly what you are speaking about. Just a second. I did share examples as feedback in one of our previous lectures of well-structured responses versus not so well-structured responses. So maybe that might also help you if you access those recordings from the lectures where I did explain and show those examples. I'm almost there. I'm just opening the summative. Okay. Okay, so if I understand correctly, you're speaking about the table in question one, which is for 20 marks. So for example, obviously you're going to put your discipline and the module or subject that you will design. And if you listen to the recording from the previous QA session, some students asked about putting a bit of a motivation for why they've selected that module. And that is a good idea. You can do that if you would like to. And then, for example, it says, what does the learner-centered approach imply for the module or subject that you are designing for question two? So here you would simply refer specifically to the module that you are designing and what a learner-centered approach, what the implications of a learner-centered approach are for that particular module. So you wouldn't specifically say a learner-centered approach is this and, go off into those long explanations because you've already done all of that in your previous assignments. Instead, you will now do direct application for the module. So it isn't currently what you are doing. So you're not going to say things like, in my classroom, I engage students in active learning by pairing them up for formative assessments, for example. You won't do that because you are making improvements to your current practice. So what you need to show is how what you have learned in this module is influencing the design of whatever the module is that you picked. So it isn't just explaining the concept, what is a learner-centered approach, and then saying what you are currently doing. Instead, it's applying the aspects of a learner-centered approach to the module or subject that you are going to design, and so on. I hope that answers your question. I see Kavi has asked a question about the amount of sources that would be suitable. So I was typing. Sorry, my mic muted. Refer to your prescribed material. You must always, always, always refer to your prescribed material in any assessment. That is always your starting point. And then you should conduct additional research. So depending on, and for the course assignment, it's not going to be very, very many because most of it is application. But obviously the application stems from somebody else's ideas. So you will have to then conduct additional research. I can't tell you exactly how many sources, but in the past, before the assessments were redeveloped, it always said prescribed material plus 5 additional sources. So you can possibly use that as a guide, but don't limit yourself. Make sure that whatever your response is, it's comprehensive and it's based on credible research. So it must be evidence-based, whatever it is that you are saying. And ended up using significantly less than what I'm used to. Or would this be because we're now applying knowledge and info and finding it? Yes, of course. It is mostly now application more than explanation. But like I said, just remember to insert an in-text reference because even though you're applying the concept, it's somebody else's concept. And somebody else would have said, active learning is important in promoting a learning-centered approach. So then now because that is what you're doing in your practical example, in your application, then you should reference that person. Does that make sense? All good? Great. Okay, other questions, please keep them coming.
Ma'am, can I then just ask for question 2 of this course assignment? Is that structured in a essay type format, or am I continuing with the table that I'm designed here? Or would you rather me have doing that in a kind of essay where I kind of explain what is the background and how we got here and what is my purpose and my goals? Or can I just do the little table and then fill in these things that you're asking as part of question 2?
So there's no essays, Sure, for any of the assessments. Everything follows the structure that's provided. So for question 1, you are given a table to populate. And then I'm not sure if you accessed the recording for the summative assignment, because you will see in the recording, I have given you specific examples of how you could structure your responses. So I'd suggest maybe going through the recording and then you will see how to structure your responses, but it's definitely not in essay format.
And then I just want to know by question 2.4, it says that I don't really need to do specific assessment tasks, but I must just give a strategy. So you don't want me actually to go into detail to say I'm going to have this essay and then they must write this thing and then they must do a project and then they must have. I just have to say my strategy will be this and this and we'll do this and we'll do it in this way. For an example.
Well, part of the strategy will be to say what types of assessments you will be doing, but you won't develop the actual assessments. So you, as part of the strategy, you will say what the assessments are, how, when, whatever, but you won't have to actually develop the assessments. That comes in TLHE. So here you just have to give a plan and not actually develop the assessments. Okay, Kavi, I'm just opening TRHEPOE so I can see why you would like to move the questions around. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm almost there. So the POE, you had to design an assessment plan, if I can remember correctly. Sorry, it's just opening. So 3.1. Right. 3.1, you had to develop an assessment plan with all whatever you're going to do. And we worked on that through ICE tasks and so on and so forth. And then where is 3 point? Yeah, that is 3.1. And then 3.2 is where you take one of the assessments from the plan and you actually develop it. So let's say in your plan by You need to have at least one diagnostic, two formative, and one summative. So I think for question 3.2, you have to pick one of the formatives. Yes. So you have to develop one formative, which must be for 30 marks. It can be a computer aided assessment. So whatever you've described in 3.1 in your assessment plan, you are now going to develop in 3.2, one of those assessments. So it has to follow the order 3.1 because that's your overall plan for the module in terms of assessments. And then 3.2, you're drilling down and you are developing one specific assessment and you're showing all the background and thinking and everything that has informed the development of this assessment. So for section 2, the development phase, you have to provide the actual assessment as it will be given to the students with the proper instructions, not a description of it. That comes in the first part in section 1. In section 2, it's the actual assessment as students will have it. And then the assessment tool will be the actual tool, the actual marking memo or rubric that you are going to use for this particular assessment that you've developed. Does that make sense? Your part 3 is reading more like a formal proposal. So just want to check if I viewed thing, if you think that I've written too much and not enough formatted tabling. So, Kavi, it's basically the 3.1 parts, like I said, is all the background stuff. It's everything that's informing the design. You know, 3.2 section 1. Sorry, is that what you're speaking about? 3.2 section 1? 3.2 part 3. I'm not sure why it's reading like a formal proposal because for 3.1, it's an assessment plan, which should be like a table. You did an assessment plan as an ICE task. So it's something like that plan that you did in your ICE task, that like table layout with the assessment type, the preparation, the feedback, after how many learning units, you did that whole format. So that's what 3.1 is going to look like. And then 3.2, the first part you can tabulate. Section 1, you can tabulate or you can just put headings and just points. So discipline, and you put the discipline. The module, you put the module. Remember, it has to be in higher education, right? Motivation for your choice of assessment, method, form, tool, purpose. So it's just headings with like just brief explanations, advantages, challenges, how you optimizing diversification, then your theme, learning units, and then of course very important, your learning objectives, and that's just a list. So basically, that will be the structure there. And then the actual assessment would be, like I said, like what you are actually going to give to the student with the tool. And then the final part is how are you going to prepare students for this assessment and give them feedback. So I think it's like two paragraphs to, yeah, just like not more than a page. So one paragraph on preparation or one or two paragraphs, and the same for feedback. And that's it. So you can have a subheading on preparation and how you're going to prepare them for that assessment, and then another heading, feedback, and how you're going to give them feedback and why you are preparing them in that way and why you are giving them feedback in that way. So it shouldn't look like a report or an essay or a formal proposal. Does that clarify a bit, Kavi? And then Diana. In TLHE, can the assessments we design be for the module? Most definitely, it can be linked to what you are doing in course, Diana. That's absolutely perfectly fine, just as long as it's not an assessment that has already been developed. It's got to be something that you are developing from scratch. Then it will be fine. It can most certainly be for the same module as cars. That's perfect. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Kavi, maybe I think what you might, I think, it's difficult to break that mold of looking at assignments, other than the assignment where you have to write something like a formal essay. But here you are actually doing and applying and actually creating things that you can use. So it's not just, explaining and giving examples of. It's now actually doing. So I think maybe that might be why you're struggling a little bit with that. But step out of that and just keep in mind that this is not explaining with examples necessarily. This is actually doing, it's actually doing an assessment plan. So I think in an ICE task you spoke about was it in one of the other parts, an assessment plan and why an assessment plan is important. And then for the ICE task, you had to do an assessment plan template. And I know some people even populated the templates, and then I gave you some feedback. So yeah, that's basically, I'm not sure if I shared this with you, but I created a document. I can just throw it into the chat, and then what I will do is tomorrow I will upload it as well. Oh goodness, I just closed it. Okay. Let me do this. I mean, it's not new. It's an older document, and it's by no means saying that this is the precise way to do it. But I think it's going to help you, because it will give you an idea of what I don't know if I already did upload it. Hold on, give me a second. I'll just find it of what your response should look like. Just give you an idea. You don't have to do it exactly like this. And like I said, I'm not saying this is the correct way, but it's just sort of to give you some breadcrumbs to help guide you a little bit. So have a look at this document and yeah, I'll put it in the module if it's not already there. Okay, so I think that's going to help a little bit. Have a look at it, and then if you have any other questions, you can go ahead and ask.
Then I just would like to ask them, say, one of my activities is like a game that they are playing, and there's not really a specific marking rubric, but can I then just say, this is what it means if they are winning, and this is what it means if they are losing, something to that effect. I don't want to say too much.
Okay, so Sure, if they are doing a gamification activity, there'll still be questions and they will need feedback for their responses. So that feedback will have to be included. So you'll need to provide um, feedback for correct answers and feedback for incorrect answers, and then general feedback on for the response. You'll find that most of these gaming apps do have that functionality. So it can't just be for any assessment where, especially with these online computer aided assessments, you can't just have a question and then students give the response and then it's correct or incorrect. For corrects, they must be given an explanation as to why it's correct. And then if it's incorrect, obviously what the correct answer is and why. So that's the type of feedback that you would need to have. And then obviously that will serve as your marking memo. Please can I find out quickly? I'm just in TLHE right now, and I noticed that this document was hidden. I'm not sure why, because I uploaded it ages ago, as you'll see by the date. Have you seen this document or was it hidden from you? And I'm also seeing that all the recordings that I uploaded for you, starting like from the 21st of July, have you been able to view them? So in addition to our lecture recordings, there've also been additional recordings and resources that I uploaded for you in TLHE, which you should have been able to access. So I just wanted to find out if you have had access to all of that, as well as the assessment plan template, because that was hidden and I can't understand why. Anybody?
Are you talking about that same one where you do the presentation and you need to talk over the presentation? Is that the thing
Yes,
that you're
yes,
talking?
yes, yes. Same one,
Yes,
Suri.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Oh, okay, that's a relief. And this document, the assessment plan template, were you able to see that one? Because it showed hidden on my side, and it shouldn't have been hidden.
It shows hidden, yes. Where did I see that now? Let me just go back to my things.
Okay, because I've unhidden it now. but it's been uploaded, like I said, since what's the date there? Since the 1st of September. You should have had access to it. I just want to go and check cars as well while I'm doing this exercise. I don't know what went wrong there. Okay, but yeah, at least you've had access to everything else, so that's fine. Haven't seen the templates, but the recordings, yes. I see it now, but did not previously. Okay, I'm not sure what went wrong there, but it is there. And I'm just going through cars quickly also to make sure that everything is visible.
I
Mm,
also went on to the course lecture recordings because I haven't really gone on there because the times when I gone on there, it didn't show all the online lectures, so I thought it was just empty. But I see it's now populated, but it says now here by me, one unavailable video is hidden. So I'm not sure if that's on purpose or if that's something you're still working on or if that's just supposed to be there.
no, the LU1, everything's fine. Everything's open. Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot right now as we speak. And in addition to that, there's the pages, and on the pages are all everything's populated there as well. The maps, where are they? In the learning maps, they all visible, yes. Yeah. And if you access the learning maps, you will find yeah. Okay, all the information is there and that's all unhidden. Okay, so I think it was just that one assessment. And then Sure, in terms of the lecture recordings, um, there's a YouTube link. So you click on the YouTube link if you don't want to access it via Teams, which you can do as well. But in both modules, there's a YouTube link that you click on, and it takes you into my YouTube channel for the module, and all the lecture recordings are there. The other way that you can do it is go into the module on Teams, and if you go Files, Recordings, all the recordings are there as well.
No, I know what you mean, but previously when I've tried to access there was no videos. And now that you've mentioned it to me that I should go back to these recordings, I only see that I have it now. I didn't have it before.
Okay. I'm not sure why that is. Because yeah, you can see they dated as well. I'll just show you the rest from Cuz. But they are, oh no, sorry, those are the maps. Let me just quickly go down to the recordings. Did anybody else have this problem? Or this is very, I don't know why that could have ever happened. Yeah, the recordings were uploaded from, and you can see the dates are all there. Here we go.
Yes, I'm talking about that thing. I don't know from other people, but previously I've tried to access these recordings and I haven't seen it. And I'm like, okay, she keeps telling us that she's recording and recording, but there's nothing. So I was just like, okay, maybe that's just the way it is. And then when you now answered some of my question and you said I must go back to the recordings, when I opened the link now it's showing, but previously I didn't have access to these videos.
Okay. And the summative and the assignment recordings, have you been able to access those? Because I'm checking those now and they are also fine on my side.
Yeah, no, those ones I was always able to access those PowerPoint ones. Yeah.
Okay. And you say you have them all now, so everything you can see all now.
Yes, I can see the videos now. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm just double checking TLHE assessment recordings. Mm, yeah, those. Oh, fine. Okay, yeah. Part two, part one, and there's part three. Okay. Okay, so I don't know what happened with that document, but there it is. And yeah. Any other questions? If you don't have any questions and you'd like to leave and go and carry on working on your POE or your assignment, you're welcome to do so, and you can catch the recording, but you're also welcome to stay and just listen if anybody else has any questions. I'm still going to be here. Hey, that's great, Kavi. I'm glad it helped, and I'm really, really sorry that it wasn't available sooner. But yeah, at least you've still got enough time to work with it. And if there's anything else that as you're working through that you find isn't clear or you need help with, then please just send me an email. And then I can help you via email. Bhavna, Casey, Lee, Lucy, Langalifle, anything from your side? Not to put you on the spot if you don't have anything, that's fine. But just a little bit of a nudge of encouragement if you do have something that's not clear, or a comment or feedback, anything. Feel free to unmute and speak. Yes, this will be the last session. Lectures end tonight for this semester, and now you go off and work on your final submissions. And then, yeah, next year you come back to finish up. How quick, and yeah, that was just like really the blink of an eye. So well done. All good on my side. We'll email if there's anything. Great. Please do so, Casey Lee. Langalifle, following, thank you. Okay, that's great. If there is anything that you get stuck with, then just throw me an email. Okay, great. But yeah, as with everyone else, if there's anything while you're working through, sometimes when you're actually doing something, then it might be like, oh, hold on, this doesn't really, I'm not sure. Then you can throw me an email. Okay. There were some really good questions in the session, so thank you for those as well. I think it helped everybody. Very well put, Kavi. Days do indeed feel long, but months and weeks go by in the blink of an eye. Like, I cannot believe tomorrow is Thursday already. It feels like we were flying kites just yesterday, being Sunday. You're most welcome. It's been really nice getting to know all of you here as well and engaging. And, I always say to new lecturers who are coming in, don't ever say to your students, I'm new and I'm going to learn from you as much as you are going to learn from me, because they will eat you alive. But because everybody here um, are tenured and are lecturing, and you do know about teaching and learning, I have learned such a lot from you as well. And I can say that very openly and with confidence. It really, really has been a very, very enlightening year. And I'm really grateful for all your feedback, and all the comments. And every time I threw out a survey asking for feedback, and you would give such good, meaningful feedback. And I really, really appreciate that. And I think one of the most useful questions that we did this year was question 2 of Kerr's assignment 2, because like I saw your thinking in terms of the modules coming through, and it just really helped me now to see what I can do better in future. And I can see things very clearly from your perspective as well. So thank you so much for being part of little transformation steps here, and helping that process. So I'm really grateful, and also for helping develop my teaching practice as well. So it really has been a wonderful year with you, and the engagement has been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. And I'm sure we're going to speak again somewhere along the line, probably for research or something like that. You'll hear from me somewhere. But yeah, I just want to wish you all the best with your summatives, and then, of course, with the rest of your qualification. And then, of course, with everything that you do thereafter in terms of teaching and learning, I hope it's going to be inspired, and it's going to be active and learning centered and engaging and just wonderful. So if you do want to leave the session, you're most welcome to do so. And I will wish you a very good night and look forward to receiving your summatives. Okay. Everyone who's leaving, anyone who wants to stay and still chat, you can do so.